So I hope everyone can see me. It's kind of a glare because of the sun. It's real bright. Shalom, peace and blessings. I have been, I guess you could say, on a little hiatus, or sabbatical leave, to get some rest. You know what I'm saying? We need rest. Rest is important, for your mind, for your body. And, come on in and like the channel so it can, help the algorithm, help the channel grow. Subscribe and share with somebody, share with a friend, because today we're gonna be dealing with I'm gonna be dealing with faith and how faith is so important. And I'm ain't nothing changed but the weather. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing changed but the weather. Hey, look, I'm just saying though, that we're gonna deal with this faith, and then, I might, I don't want to make no promises or nothing that I can't keep, but I plan to probably do another video this week. A lot of times, I kind of fall back because a lot of people, they can't handle or take the message, because when you when God is dealing with you, or when Yahuwah is dealing with you and he gives you a message, that message is for you first. You see what I'm saying? Yahuwah deals with you first before he deals with anybody. So, he was dealing with me about faith. And so it's in Hebrews. I want to read Hebrews. And so I want to say, because I heard this God mention it and it gave me so much revelation because the book is called Hebrew. And so why is the book named Hebrew? Because the book was given to the Hebrews, but that's a whole different, subject, different lesson that my ox have already really dealt with. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you can find it, but my assertion on this topic is basically that faith, and I'm in chapter 11, and I'm gonna read this, that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, is what the Bible describes it as the scriptures, the holy scriptures, prescribe. So it says, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. So when you look up the definition of faith, faith is having complete trust and confidence in someone. And so oftentimes I hear a lot of people talking about the faith. What is the faith? Keeping the faith. You see what I'm saying? Your faith is what you believe in. That's just like if I was a Muslim, that is the faith that I believe in. That's my faith. If I was a Christian, that's my faith. If I was a Buddhist, that's my faith. If I was whatever religion I chose to be, that is my faith. You see what I'm saying? I put my faith in that God. Let's say that. And so so faith, when and I'm just speaking from a standpoint of from what I believe in, thank the Most High that, there is the freedom of religion. you know um you know Me myself, I'm not going to speak against no one's religion. I just think that, when it comes to that, it's like Elijah and the false prophets, that are Gideon and the fleece with dew on it, and the fleece with dew on the ground, or no dew on the fleece but on the ground. That the eternal one of heaven and earth, and God Almighty or Yahuwah Almighty is an Elohim that is into proving himself. That's where faith comes in. So to have faith means to have total confidence and trust. But in what? What are we having faith in? You see what I'm saying? Are we just having faith that, the Most High is just speaking to us audibly, which he can do? There is no denying that he can do that. But the Most High is going to speak to you through his word. And that is why he sent the word. Now, the word has been mistranslated and has lost some of its tensile strength. Let's say that it's lost some of its strength. Not really, but to those who don't actually, study to show themselves approved, they will be double-minded in question of, well, certain people wrote the book, so it doesn't, you know what I mean? And it's like how I describe it like this, that the scriptures is like the molecules that's on the table, right? I forgot, the periodic table or something like that is what it's called. And on the periodic table, you have these sequences or components that make up certain things. So we know that water, which is H2O, is made up of hydrogen and oxygen, and those two components are on the periodic table. So you have hydrogen, two hydrogens and one oxygen, and that's what makes water. So if you take away a hydrogen, then that no longer is considered water. You see what I'm saying? We don't know what that is considered. And so that's how I describe, or how he taught me to give you an example of the mistranslation from Hebrew on down to the English language. You see what I'm saying? And when you do the studying, which I won't go into, when you go back to the old land, they write from right to left. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is of the right hand. But over here, everything is turned upside down. It's from left to right. So meaning you're living in the left, and we understand what the left hand and the right hand represents. That's why the Most High Yahuwah always talks about the right hand. You see, even in Psalms, he said that 1,000 shall fall by my side and 10,000 at my right hand. Because even if I'm, walking not accordingly, 1,000 still gonna fall at my left hand, because you have to understand that there are things at work, behind the scene, principalities and wickedness and authorities in high places. But I'm not getting off subject. I'm staying on subject. I just want you to grasp this, because the spirit flows and it goes so many places. But faith is complete trust in him. So when you say that you have faith in him, then what is the faith? The faith is in what? The word. When you say you have faith in me, like if I told you something, that's why he said, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Because, we make oral contracts and verbal contracts every day. You see what I'm saying? That we don't keep. You see what I'm saying? So if you're not going to do something for somebody, just say no. If you're going to do something for somebody and you can do it, just say yes. You know what I'm saying? Not out of spite, not out of, hate or nothing. Just, well, no, I can't do it right now. I don't have it. I have something else to do. Yeah, I can do it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to help you out. And so, that is what the scriptures is prescribing when you say faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. So I understand that my faith is in his instructions, in his word. In the beginning was the word. So my faith has to be in his word. What does his word prescribe? His word instructs us to live a certain type of way. His word instructs us to do certain type of things. You see what I'm saying? It is the standard. It is the rod that we all have to pass under. You see what I'm saying? The Torah is the rod that we all have to pass under. You see what I'm saying? And so faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So James described it that faith without works is dead. So when you go look at the patriarchs of the scriptures, Abraham by faith left his family, left his country, and went out, and to pursue Elohim. Isaac didn't too much have to worry about that, but Yaqub, who we know as Yasharel or Israel, he also had to go out and trust. You see what I'm saying? And so it was by faith that, he was able to transition from a supplanter, to a righteous man. It was by faith that Rahab, believed in the God of Yasharel and the Elohim of Yasharel, and her family was saved. You see what I'm saying? So I want to go read, some of these examples of faith, because you have to understand that if faith without works is dead, and that's true. So you can say you believe in the word and you believe in the faith, you believe in the Torah, you believe that Yahuwah Savo said that if you do this, I'll do this. If you do that, I'll do this. The blessings and the cursings. You see what I'm saying? If you keep my commandments, if you love me, keep my commandments. You see what I'm saying? And this is what the faith is keeping the commandments, keeping your faith in the commandments. So, and this is the very thing that from Adam all the way to now that has happened with keeping the commandments. So I'm gonna read a little bit. By faith, Abel offered to Elohim a more acceptable sacrifice than Cain. So Abel offered a sacrifice. What was that sacrifice? Paul said to present thyself as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, for this is your reasonable duty. So he presented himself. He was the lamb. But in actuality, he did present a lamb, but, he was presenting that lamb for himself, because the sacrifices were for you, in place of you, until Yahusha came. So, that's why Cain didn't like Abel, and he slew Abel, because Abel was a righteous man. He was living according to the oral Torah, which now is called the Talmud. The president was handed down from generation to generation to generation by mouth, until the Most High seen like, well, this ain't working. By me telling them, let me put it on so they can see it, so they can read it. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why because Cain's efforts were cursed. When you translate the word into the understanding of modern day, Cain was in the field, doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? The earth was cursed. So he was reaping from the earth. You know what I'm saying? When you say you reaping from the earth, you know what I'm saying? You getting it off the land, right? You know what I'm saying? But Abel, his faith was in Yah. You know what I'm saying? Cain's faith was in himself, but Abel's faith was in Yah, was in God. You see what I'm saying? He depended on God to supply all his needs according to his riches and glory. So he needed clothing. You know what I'm saying? You can only eat the vegetables and the fruits that come out of, you can't clothe yourself because, it get cold. You know what I'm saying? So Abel had, I'm just giving you a perspective. You see what I'm saying? Abel had wool coming off the sheep. You see what I'm saying? That he could make clothing with. You see what I'm saying? And he still was probably reaping from the field too. He probably had land too. But, it takes a lot of compassion and affection to care for the flock. You see what I'm saying? Cain didn't care for the flock. That's just like Esau. Esau didn't care for the flock. He cared for the things of the world. That's why the Most High said the love of the world is enmity to God. So through this, though this he received approval as righteousness, Yahuwah himself giving approval to his gifts, he died, but through his faith, he still speaks. By faith, Enoch was taken so that he did not experience death. And he was not found because Elohim had taken him. For it was attested before he was taken away, that he had pleased God. So how do you please God? You please Elohim by keeping his instructions, by keeping his commandments. That's how you please him. That's why, go read Psalms 1. That's one of my favorite. I'm always refer back to that, because it say you shall be like a tree planted by living waters if you what? Delight in his law. So, and he was not found. For it was a test. Okay, and without faith, it is impossible to please Yahweh. So without faith, it's impossible to please him. The faith is the Torah. That is the faith. It's not just in God. You know what I'm saying? Because if God never spoke, you would never know what was required of you. So when God speaks, you understand what is required. There is a requirement of you and everything, like what they call it when you go to college, prerequisite, right? You got a prerequisite. And that's the same thing with the scriptures. You have a prerequisite that you have to fulfill. You have to satisfy before you can go on, because it's faith to faith and glory to glory. And without faith, it is impossible. We walk by faith and not by sight. It is impossible to please Yahweh. For whosoever would approach him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who seek him. And that's where a lot of people fail, because it's hard for them to believe in something that they can't see. Most people are driven by the flesh, and they have to see. But Yahusha, when he came, said that a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh a sign. You're going to either take me for my word or you not. And that's what determines, you know what I'm saying, if you love me, if you take me at my word. By faith, Noah, warned by Elohim about events as yet unseen, respected the warning and built an ark to save his household. By this, he condemned the world and became an heir to the righteousness that is in accordance with faith. That is the righteousness. Deuteronomy 8 and 24, 6 and 24. One of them. That's what's going to tell you what the righteousness is. Hold on, let me go over there for you real quick. Bear with me. We're going to go to Deuteronomy 6 and 24. I think that's where it is. That is the righteousness. You know what I'm saying? That is the righteousness. The Torah, the scriptures, the first 5 books is the righteousness. 24. He brought us out from there. Where did he bring us out of? Bondage, out of Egypt. There, in order to bring us in, to give us the land that he promised on oath to our ancestors. So he made an oath and a covenant. That's why he say, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Then Yahweh commanded us to observe all these statutes, to fear Yahweh. That is the fear. When you follow his instructions, that is to fear him. To fear Yahweh our Elohim for our lasting good, so as to keep us alive, as is now the case. If we diligently observe this entire commandment before Yahweh our Elohim, as he has commanded us, we will be in the light. It might be 8 and 24. Hold on. Let me see. Let's go over to 8 and 24. It ain't 8 and 20. It's 6 and 24. Yeah, that's it. It's 6:24. If we diligently observe these entire commandments before Yahweh our Elohim, as he has commanded us, we will be in the right. It is righteous. You got to look at it in the King James Version. I'm reading from a Catholic Bible, so I lost my cipher in transition. But I'm finna be short. I'm about to get off of here and, you know what I'm saying, get this message uploaded. By faith, Abraham obeyed when he was called to set out for a place that he was to receive as an inheritance, and set out not knowing where he was going. By faith, so he followed the instructions. The Most High told him to get up and go. So that's what we have to do. We not only have to follow the instructions. You see what I'm saying? That is the work. You know what I'm saying? We got to first believe. You see what I'm saying? In the instructions, and then we got to work it out. So by faith, he stayed For a time in the land he had been promised, as in foreign land, living in tents, as did Isaac and Jacob, who were heirs with him of the same promise. For he looked forward to the city that has foundations, whose architect and builder is Elohim, Yahuwah. By faith he received power of procreation, even though he was too old, and Sarah herself was barren, because he considered him faithful who had promised. So he considered him faithful. How did he consider him faithful? Because oftentimes, and I'm about to close right here. Oftentimes, when we're trusting in Yah, putting our faith in him, that his word shall not return back void, the road gets hard. The Bible says that, the Holy Scripture says that Jacob wrestled with the angel. So what did that mean when it said he was wrestling with him? What does it mean to wrestle? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual principality, wickedness, and authorities in high places. So the enemy was sending, things Yakub's way. And so you have to understand in that time that, opposed from this time where sin is running rampant, and wickedness is abound. You have to understand back then the main thing was idol worship. They had different idols, whereas now you got so many things that cause you to sin. It's ridiculous. So with that's the main thing, and the importance of keeping the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? So it's by faith, man. I hope I was able to help someone. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace and blessings. Shalom.